This is Immortals Fenyx Rising on the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, I didn't know there was a way to save the game. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think there's a way to save the game. Maybe the game was auto-saving at some point. So we'll set this for hard. Health regeneration, only one chunk, no assistance. Okay, whatever. Timers. It's a demo. I'm not gonna complain too much. I didn't think there was a way to save the game during the demo. Maybe there's an autosave I'm not aware of. Yeah, apparently there's an autosave. I started playing the demo, but then I just stopped playing it. Because I just wanted to see how the game runs. And it seems to run fine for this first part. But I'll go through the entire demo and see how it performs. This game is notorious because there are some sections where it drops into the 20s. Which is pretty bad. Well, like the low 20s, which I think it might be in the high teens at some point. Which is pretty bad for a Switch. But again, this is a free demo that you can download from the Nintendo Store. So the idea of downloading this game for free on the Switch would be fine. I mean, it runs about as well as Oracle of Time does in the Nintendo 64. I mean, it runs better than Oracle of Time on the Nintendo 64. So there's your point of reference. Did that game ever get that game got re-released on the GameCube along with Majora's Mask, which is how I played Majora's Mask for the first time. Before I started recording videos, I did play Majora's Mask, and okay, I wanted to like it, but the problem is every time I died, I had to sit through the prologue multiple times. So that was always a pain. But there is this whole thing about this game. This is not really a laptop-friendly game, I guess you could say, but if you set the resolution down to like 600p, if you set this game's resolution down to like a VGA level, it probably runs at 25 to 30 frames a second. You know, that cinematic frame rate everyone's talking about. Although, to be fair, I mean, I don't think this game was ever really meant. I think this game was sort of Assassin's Creed, sort of repurposed, so that it could play on a Switch. But I guess the problem is that the engine was never really able to optimize. Never really got optimized for the Switch. Maybe it got patched. I don't know. This game's like in the $15 range on the Switch. I think it's in the $20 range on the Switch right now. But you can actually find it on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 for like $5 these days. As I expected, a 2021 release. After two failed Christmas seasons, after two failed holiday selling seasons, it finally plummeted in price. So your Far Cry 6s, your Immortals, Fenyx Rising games, any game from 2021 that was a mass market release like this, it's probably in the $10 range now. Although Cyberpunk's budget price now. I think it's about $20 for the PS4 version. But again, I lucked out. I bought that game for $5 Christmas of 2021, which is how I created the videos on my channel. But but the game forced you to download a patch when you installed that game on your PS4. I was hoping that Cyberpunk would be in the $10 range now, but I guess that maybe some people might be selling it for $10. You can probably find it used for like $10 or $15 these days. And it runs about as well as this game probably does on the Switch, if I'm being honest. There are some open worldish games that just never really ran. They never got optimized properly on the Switch. Obviously, there are games like Skyrim, which run incredibly well on the Switch. They run nice locked frame rate, 30 hertz. Nier Automata I did videos of Nier Automata on this channel. Nier Automata looks great, 30 frames a second. I mounted it so I could capture the footage. Runs great. I mean, does it run 60 frames a second? No, but neither does the PC version unless you download a mod and turn off that stupid global illumination solution they had. Whatever they were using, it killed the frame rate on the PC version. And probably the console versions too, but at least on the PC, you can turn it off. So there is that. Let's see how this game runs. Again, we're going to be in like the 20s most likely. I'm capturing at 30 frames a second. There'll be some input lag because again, It's a modern Ubisoft open world game. There's gonna be some input lag. Ow. Although I remember when Google, what was it? When Google Stadia first got launched, or when it first got announced, there was this whole thing about, oh, you can play Assassin's Creed Origins or Assassin's Creed Odyssey on the Google Stadia. But a game like that, which was based around a really low, about a really like, it was based around, sort of this really high input latency. Like, Assassin's Creed Odyssey wasn't really a snappy game in terms of combat. It's a stealth action game. But it mostly works. Like I said, I played 30, 40 hours of Assassin's Creed Origins and Assassin's Creed Odyssey separately. So the game is perfectly playable. You just have to accept the fact that it's not Bayonetta or anything. Maybe it's more like Bayonetta 3 than Bayonetta 1, if you know what I'm saying. And maybe it's like Bayonetta 1 on the PS3, if you know what I'm really saying. But at some point, it's how does the game play, not how responsive are the controls. Because I mean, if responsive controls were the sole reason why a game was good, then let's be honest, there are lots of video games with very responsive controls that are just bad games. I mean, it's a sort of an objective measurement that people can kind of get their dander up about, but it's about how the game plays. And games with higher, like, I think, I don't think if it was Eurogamer, it might have been somebody else. He's like, yeah, there's some really popular games with very high input latency. And they're very popular games. I mean, games like Red Dead Redemption 2 being the obvious one. I mean, the problems with Red Dead Redemption 2 are not about the game's input latency. It's about the camera controls, and I mean, yeah, everything's sluggish in that game, but it's not a game where you want to get into combat for a lot of the time. It's a game where you want to mosey. But again, Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto 5, like, I mean, at least Grand Theft Auto 5, you can probably, like, use some mods to kind of speed things up. Use higher frame rates to overcome the really bad input latency. But that was the thing. I thought I could sprint. I don't remember how to sprint. Yeah, the game looks okay. I mean, I do like the low polygon look, but like I said, it's not very well optimized. So you'll get the high 20s, maybe around 30 in some spots, but you'll probably get accustomed to performance like this. Again, I'm capturing at 30 frames a second, so all the stutter may not look so pronounced. But if you were playing this on like a 4K screen, yeah, it would be pretty pronounced. Although I probably would not play this game on a 4K screen. Like on a smaller HD screen, it's perfectly fine. Like on a 25-inch screen, this game would be perfectly fine. But on, say, like a 30 or a 40-incher, yeah, it might be a bit much. Although people play PlayStation 2 games on screens that large all the time, so if you're going to be picky about that. I mean, do people not play PlayStation 2 games on screens that large? My Life in Gaming channel on YouTube made a huge deal about, yeah, you can play freaking NES games on a 4K screen. I'm like, why? Why? Like, any game with decent visuals on the NES just looks like a blocky mess on a 4K screen. It just looks like a mess. Even if you have the best upscaler of all time, why would you want to play a Nintendo game at a resolution that low? Or worse, imagine playing a Game Boy Advance game on a screen like that. A button to glide. Like, how would I describe that? Like, I mentioned this before. I played Mega Man Zero, which was a Game Boy Advance game with like 148p is the vertical resolution on that. 148 vertical lines of vertical resolution. And I'm playing it on a freaking 4K monitor. That is the most absurd situation I could ever imagine. Can I glide over there? Probably. And if I can't, well, maybe I'll fall in the water and everything will just work out. Ideally, I should be gliding over to the low end of that ramp. If it all works out, I might be able to climb it. Can I climb this? Yes, I can. Okay, so I can glide into a climb. So it all worked out. I thought I could run. Is there a button I need to press to run? Ah, crap. Axe, axe, axe. So ZR for the big swirly axe attack. Okay, hold on. There are archers. Take out the archers. Yeah. Use the ZR button for like a somersault swing in the air. Yeah, I think I broke its poise or whatever you would call that in Sekiro. Knock him off. He's off. So who's swinging the who's doing the arrows? Parry. Would I ever need to parry in a game like this? Maybe some enemies might require it, but combat in this game is fine. Compared to Zelda, I mean, there's no durability system, so that's a plus in my book. Again, I need to play more Zelda. I have Breath of the Wild on the Wii U. I lucked out. I got it for like $20 as part of a bundle. I mean, like, yeah, this time of year, I mean, January of every year, I think maybe summer of every year, GameStop tries to clear out a bunch of stuff. They didn't sell the previous. They tried to sell out a bunch of games that didn't sell very well. Give me that. Wait. Gimme. Boop. So what game was it I was thinking of? Yeah, like, if, like, I got a bunch of Switch games with a store credit that I'd built up. And there were a bunch of games that are like like $20 or less, depending on where you go. And those $20 games can be purchased in bundles of 4 for $40. So, like, if you don't have Saints Row 4, this might be the time to get it on the Switch. Because that was the first Switch game I got. It was like a $15 game. It was like a $16 game when I got it. But if I'd gotten it as part of a bundle, it would have worked out just fine. Is there options and controls? Image calibration? Oh, never mind. We'll just go with the defaults. Apollo's arrows. We'll get to that. Toggle. I prefer toggles. Hold the button for a longer jump. Like in a Mario game, basically. I mean, we'll see if it makes a difference. Motion controls, don't be absurd. Auto movement. Double pressing the L button. I don't know how that works. We'll get to that. Run hard. Aim assist is for default. Puzzle feedback. I like directional visual feedback. Sounds like a cheat, but I'll take it. Trying to do this Zelda Tomb Raider crap. Yeah, you can't hear any of this. I'm not recording any of the commentary. Maybe I should have changed the audio language. Yeah, maybe I should have changed the audio language. Close. All right, so nothing to do there. Yeah, I mean the game seems to run fine. I mean, like I said, I'm not really pushing it, but I did want to get some big wide open areas and test it out. Because like in Assassin's Creed Origins and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the pacing of the game is so slow that it's meant to make the streaming of all this open world information sort of happen somewhat smoothly. So yeah, part of the reason why the pacing of these, like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Assassin's Creed Origins, they were designed to be open world games that ran at reasonable frame rates with a lot of visual spectacle, you know. So a game like Far Cry 3 never really ran that well on the PS3 or the Xbox 360, but especially in really, really dangerous areas, like with lots of enemies and explosions and such. But the idea was getting a game like that to run on the 360 was a big deal. Like getting open world first-person shooters was a huge deal when that game came out. Remember, it came out like 2012, I think. Yeah, remember Skyrim with guns, and Skyrim was huge in 2011, but that was a much more deliberately paced game. But of course, on PC, Far Cry 3 was probably a barn burner in terms of first person open world first person shooters, like in the Stalker vein, right? That wasn't Stalker was 60 frames a second on a decent PC, right? And obviously you have your crises and your crises, your crises. But part of me kind of feels like, yeah, can I climb? I might not be able to climb all this. We'll see what happens. I might not be able to climb this. Well, you know what? There's a resting area right there. I saw Mission Impossible 2 with Tom Cruise. I know what's up. Gotta look for a resting spot when you're climbing these. When you're doing this rock climbing like the American Ninja Warrior. In this case, a Greek Ninja Warrior. Yeah, we'll make it. We'll be fine. This is always part of the open world bit. I mean, Assassin's Creed obviously had this. There's something on top of that statue's shoulder. We'll get there later. If there's a way to mark that. I don't know what it is. We'll worry about that later. And I can climb this. Yeah, there's a puzzle up here I'm probably going to be able to explore, so we'll see how it goes. And that wind probably kept me from gliding. It might actually assist me in the gliding, actually. If that's wind, it probably helps me with the gliding. Yeah, this might be glide assisters. But it's a nice touch. Again, if you're interested in the Breath of the Wild, the Breath of the Wild comparisons, Super Bunny Hop did an interesting video on that. But he played a lot more Breath of the Wild than I did. Of course, he also liked the writing more than I did. The writing in this game was extremely polarizing. Like, I compared it to B-tier DreamWorks stuff, like a Shrek 2 or whatever, but... What was that movie? Monsters vs. Aliens, which I think is still streaming on that Freevee application. Like a B-tier... The writing in this game just strikes me as like B-tier DreamWorks. Like, whatever. But a lot of people really dug it. I thought it was really clever. In like a early 1990s Saturday morning cartoon kind of way. But I've seen plenty of Saturday morning cartoons from the late 80s and early 90s. This doesn't compare at all to any of them. Hold L and press ZR. I am pressing ZR. Yeah, I'm just shooting. Yeah, I'm not... Yeah, it's not working. Yeah, because I have it on a toggle. That's probably why. Yeah, I have it on a toggle, so it probably won't work. Well, we can't have a Zelda game without the chickens. I don't need to use the hammer. Maybe later I'll use the hammer. ZR. There it is. So it worked that time. Ah, they got me. Pecked to death. So where do I respawn, I guess is the question. Load time seems somewhat reasonable here. Can I skip this? Okay, we'll figure it out. Yes, I mean, this game seems doable. It just feels like a game where... It feels like a game where you'd have to, like, concede that... Maybe it got patched. I don't know. I'll see if it got patched. Oh, so I pressed the wrong button. ZL is for the arrows. Just switch to the arrows. But hold L and you press ZR for that hammer. Ow! Jesus. Chickens don't cluck around. Don't cluck around and find out. Jeez. It's legit. Right? Press left on the D-pad to get some of my health back. Use one of my 5 potions. Oh, stamina. We got a stamina problem. Get out of here. Get out of here. Let me fix that. Okay, we got it. We'll get my stamina back. And we'll figure it out. Ugh. It's got real. Wait, Ares' Wrath. What? Hold L and press B. I can't. B. B, wrong button. Okay, wrong button. Okay. Who's... Like, I was about to say who's shooting at me, and here we are. Do I get my stamina back by attacking enemies? Probably. Oh, and the regular button. Yeah, the regular L button builds up my stamina. So stay away from this wall because there are archers on top of the roof. Ow! Bastard. What crap? Dodge with Y just in case. There we go. Way out. Dodge, 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 dodge. Combat seems doable at this frame rate. So that's good. Ow! Bastard. Good news. ZR. There we go. That stunned him. Yeah, it's build up my stamina a bit by using regular attacks. Okay, I think he's going down. I got him stunned. I broke his poise. And he's down. So yeah, the cartoony visuals work in this game, so that's good. I can hold down the Y button to run. Okay, so there we go. I guess we have these puzzles, which we'll get around to later, I suppose. There's no way to save this game. But the idea is I want to play enough of this game to know that it runs well, which is good. I'm not going to play from beginning to end of the demo, because this demo is reasonably beefy. It's got like a couple of hours of content in it. X. Yeah, I always liked how she rapped on the chest before she opened it. It was a nice touch. So, what do we get? I didn't double check to see if any of the stuff can be brought over to the main game, but I'll worry about that later. Was there another helmet I wanted? You already have that helmet. Oh, there's a new sword I got. And there's a trade-off on some of these weapons, so it's not bad. Chance to triple damage, not interested, so we'll go with this one. Extra damage with the sword combo when the health is full. So again, those little those conditionals, I think, are an interesting mechanic actually, because you're like, okay, you pick this weapon over, you pick this piece of gear over a different one because you might get it's based on your style. It's based on your play style sometimes. So that's cool. Some of the animation's pretty good in this game. There's some of the character animation. Like, it's not on a level of something like Luigi's Mansion 3 or Super Mario Strikers, but it's still pretty good. So if I can run, I have to hold down the Y button to run. Because that's my dodge button. If you hold the button down, you can run. But of course it uses stamina, so there is that. Because I'm not going to make you sit through any of this puzzle stuff, but I did want to show you basically what this game has going on as far as the frame rate. And during these combat situations, it's perfectly fine. Let me see if I can find another batch of enemies. Just a second. Because there might be one more fight I can get into before I end the video. Because the whole idea was to download this demo to see how it runs, and it runs fine. So that means if I get the game will probably be in the $10 range in the next year or so. So it might be a game worth picking up at that little point. But I already have Saints Row 4. So I don't really need another open world game. As far as actual factual open world games, like Skyrim's probably way too expensive for the price. Xenoblade's a very good game, but again, it's way too expensive. I mean, again, Skyrim and Xenoblade are very good games, but are they worth $50? Nah, not really. Saints Row 4 is worth $15. That's like a 10-year-old game. So that's like a 12-year-old. Yeah, it's like a 10-year-old game by this point. Came out in 2011, same year as Skyrim, obviously. Any Giant Bomb fan will tell you that. So what else am I open? Oh, I gotta put the heavy thing over here, though, right? Yeah, the light thing goes over here. The heavy thing goes over here. Again, you have to understand the puzzle logic. The moon puzzle logic they got going on in games like this. Carry. Yeah, I think when you get Hercules, when you get you get the Shackles of Heracles, you can pick up bigger stuff. You can power them up eventually. Anything else? Yeah, was there anything else I need to pick up? Or are they just locking it down for some reason? Yeah, put the whole thing on there. Yeah, you can't just let it sit on the side. You can't just let it sit on a corner like that. I can run with this thing. Yeah, I can run with this thing. Drop it. Wrong button. But say, where'd it go? Why hit the dodge button? That was the problem. Why is the Fenyx following me, even though I am the Fenyx, technically? Robert. Oh, that was on the right spot. Now, where's this one go? Right here. But we need to get another ball, and that's over here, obviously. So again, we know how to play this game. That is a light. We need something else over here, apparently. That's this one, I guess. Boop. Hold L and push X. Okay. You can charge, I guess, for speed running, you can do a charge throw. But you would also need that in some areas where they're like pits and such. You have to throw them across a chasm, you know what I mean? Whoops, wrong button. That's the whole thing? No. Go up. Oh. Maybe I was supposed to throw it in here. Yeah, I was probably supposed to throw it in here. And then stand on and then stand on that thing. Yeah, I was probably supposed to throw it in there and then stand on this thing. Okay. Logic. Give me that. There we go. Okay, we'll work it out. Give me a second. I can't jump with it. I gotta throw it. Then we aim it over there. It's not gonna break, is it? I think I broke it. Does it come back? No, there it is. Yeah, it came back. Good to know, actually. So, other than Saints Row 3, what are the other open world games that cost less than $20 that I would buy now. It's obviously Saints Row 4 is guaranteed. Saints Row 3 didn't run well when it came out, but apparently it's supposed to be patched. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, throw that over there. Saints Row 3 apparently got patched because apparently the way it worked is that when the game was mounted, it ran at an absurdly high resolution, like 1080p or maybe 900p, and it didn't run well at that resolution. But if you set the resolution to 720p, that would have solved the problem. The frame rate was locked to 30 if you kept the resolution at 720p while docked. When it's undocked, the game doesn't run that well. Or at least the resolution's a lot lower. What are you gonna do? Like, I played Saints Row 4 on my first gaming PC. It had like a Radeon 240 inside of it. I mean, come on. But I got 60 frames a second out of it because I lowered the resolution. I kept the details reasonable. That's what I'm talking about. You gotta match the performance. You gotta match the settings to the performance you want, and you gotta match that performance to the hardware. So I'm not trying to run Doom Eternal on my current gaming PC because it's only a Radeon 550 inside of it. Like when I first got my hands on I first got my hands on Arkham Knight. I mean, I wasn't trying to run it at like 60 frames a second like most doofuses who owned PCs back then when it came out. I can aim it. That's cool. I can hold the button down to get an aim. Come on, give me my arrows back. Okay, so there's a cooldown on my arrows, which is nice. But if you know what you're doing, you can get a quick shot. Ah, crap. Okay, he's down. I was going to say, do I have to use my arrows? Because the answer should be no. Haha, you suck. Yeah, knock him to the ground. There you go. That's how you do that. Gotta get him with that somersault swing when you press ZR in the air. I already opened that one. So I gotta return to the island. There's no fast travel, is there? That was the part I don't remember. But yeah, like I said, the whole idea was to see how well this game ran. It seems to run fine. Like, again, for $10, like, I bought this game on the Xbox One for $10, for like $5. I rented this game from the library, and I thought, it's perfectly fine. That $5 is a reasonable price for a game like this. It's a very good open world. I think it's an above average open world. I give it like a B-. But at $5, that's a reasonable price to me. What is this? Standard edition. That's the one I bought. Whatever. Heck, on a related note, I got Assassin's Creed Odyssey on the Xbox One for $0. I went to a mall and they were giving it away last Christmas. I'm like, guess they they had too many copies, I guess. So Assassin's Creed Odyssey for free. You can't beat that. So yeah, I think we're good. So Immortal Fenyx Rising is fine. It's the demo that's available for free. I'm playing it offline. It's fine. It's fine. And again, for $5, if you have an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4, it's a very good game. If you have a Switch, I would wait until the price. If you can get it for $10, great. If you can get it as part of a bundle for $10, that's fine. But for $5, that's basically the price of a rental. You know? So your inflation-busting tip from your boy right here is to buy good games with a lot of content that cost less than $5. And I would not complain about a game that costs this little. Give me that. I did the double jump for some reason. Drop. Ah! Yeah, I probably should have glided down, but whatever. We'll get whatever she's holding. We're not going to leap. We'll be fine. Yeah, we'll climb the elbow and go around. We'll be fine. There we go. Ah, crap! Just a second. Let me get my health back. My stamina, excuse me. That's right, just grab the bum. We'll get to that shiny thing on her arm in just a second. Here? Yeah, here. I saw a collect thing over. Don't grab that. It's very inappropriate. X. Got the ambrosia. I used the double jump to save myself from going splat on the ground. So, is there any open? Is there any way to save the game at this point? I want to say no. Yeah, game runs fine. It's not great, but it's fine. If you're willing to accept those streaming issues, the game runs fine-ish. Like, apparently, Outer Worlds is one of those games that, like, made too many compromises. I think that's in the $10 range these days. But it's like the game, like, it looked like Fallout 3 on the PS3, which is, I guess if you set reasonable expectations, that's fine. But Outer Worlds is a game that probably should have been optimized better for lower-end consoles. Maybe it was just a mediocre port. Like, a game like that running at 30 frames a second is fine. That game's approaching $10 if you have a regular homebound console, too, so that's pretty good. I can see, like, Outer Worlds is fine. I thought it was going to be better than it was, but it's fine. Again, for $10 is a very reasonable price for a game like that. But probably not on the Switch. And maybe on another console other than the Switch. Can I glide over there? I'm going to find out in a second. Actually, does the Fenyx allow me to, like, scout the area like in Assassin's Creed Origins? That'd be cute. I want to say it did. I just don't remember exactly. It will drop down. We'll get some business. Oh, guess they saw me. Look out for the Gorgons. I'm out. So yeah, we'll be fine. This game's fine. So how do we get up to? I think we're gonna make it. We'll be fine. But yeah, there's plenty of stuff to explore above and below this area, so we'll be fine. Yeah, what's the other game? Grand Theft Auto. The Grand Theft Auto 3 trilogy has been very poorly received, as you would expect. But it runs better than the original PlayStation 2 version did. Maybe it got patched, I don't know. Yeah, this game will be fine. So yeah, basically it's just about the value proposition. Like I remember I don't have an Ubisoft account. I don't have an Ubisoft UbiConnect account, so I don't play Ubisoft games on PC. So there is that. I just prefer to play them on consoles. I don't have to worry about having an internet connection to play them. What's that other game? Far Cry 5 has to be in the $10 range now. I thought it would have been below that. That's a game of meaning to get around. I mean, I'll play Far Cry 5 eventually. Obviously not on this console. I'm kind of shocked that Far Cry 3 never came out here. Yeah, Far Cry 3 never came out on this console, and that's a shame, because it's a very good game. I played on the Xbox One a while ago. In fact, I have some footage of me playing it on the Xbox One. I just have to dig it up. It's a very good game. I got into it again. And I need to play Far Cry 4, because that game's, like, stupid cheap now. It was a launch title for these consoles, so, you know. And, of course, Rage 2 is, like, in the $5 range on these regular consoles. So that might be cute. Is there a safe spot here? Let's get to the mushrooms. Maybe I can rest on the mushrooms. Rest on the shrooms. Yeah, I can grab up here. Yeah, we're fine. So we can rest right here. Yeah, we can make it to the top. We'll be fine. Yeah, let's rest up here before we make our final run. We'll be fine. Yeah, I said I wanted to rest. Can I drop here? Yeah, we're good. Yeah, I'm struggling to think of any, like, really good open world games that cost less than $20 on the Switch. if you include stuff like Minecraft, that's still in the $30 range. Terraria is an open world game, I guess. That's in the That's like in the $15 range these days. You might be able to get it for 10 if you get it as part of a bundle, but I already have it, so I'm set there. Again, any of these games would be better than Animal Crossing, I think, but you know. And again, Skyrim's too expensive. The Yakuza games are on here. Assassin's Creed 3 and 4 are just boring as crap, but Assassin's Creed 4 got remastered, and it's in the $10 range these days. But I'm not a fan of the old Assassin's Creed games. Though one could argue with an affordable remaster with a 30 frames per second frame rate might be worth, playing deeper into them. But yeah, all the Assassin's Creed games have bounced off me until I played Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is still the only Assassin's Creed game I like. Although I've said before, Origins is one of the best looking video games I've ever played, so there's something to be said for that. Like, it is that game that said, you know what? If you have a new TV, or if you had a new PC, I would test it on that. But yeah, if you got a 4K TV like I do, you want to test it out, pull out your PlayStation 4 and just play this. It's a gorgeous video game. It's just kind of soulless and boring after a while. But the videos that I made of Assassin's Creed Origins were me just saying, you know what? Just it's a great tour. I can only think of other than Skyrim, I'm struggling to think of video games that would play just because they look good. Like open world video games that would play just because they look good. Like Rage 2 had its moments, I guess. Just Cause 2 and 3 are fantastic looking games, but yeah, Just Cause 3, yeah. Definitely Just Cause 2. Well, there's something over there I want. Or because I see it, I'm grabbing it, so therefore I want it. We're not going to dive, we'll be fine. Boost. Hold the Y button to boost, which also lowers the... I gotta try that, actually. I can boost, because that'll lower the resolution, I think. Because if you lower the resolution, it allows the assets to stream in at a reasonable rate without the frame rate dropping too much. Looking for something over there. We'll boost over there and see what happens. Let's get as close as we can. Then we'll break out the glider and then boost over there. See how the frame rate holds up. It's another test. Yeah, let's get higher even. I'm gonna have to climb the... Should we climb the hair? Yeah, there might be more of a... Yeah, there might be a place I can rest if I can climb the hair. Might be able to rest on a braid or something. That's my logic. I thought I could. I don't see a single place to rest up here. But I might make it to the top if I don't jump. Because I think jumping's more of a speed. I think it's just a boost. Like, if you're willing to sacrifice a little extra stamina, you can get up there faster. That's a resting spot. Yeah, that's a resting spot. Right there. I was hoping that would be in a more obvious place. The idea was to climb to a resting spot. So I can get my stamina back for the final run. Okay, so this is a moment of truth, I guess. A. Then we'll boost with the Y button. Let's stay up high. How about that? We'll stay high, then drop down. Same as usual. Get high, because it's easier to get high than to... It's easier to get high and fall than to climb. So definitely get as high as you can, but so that you can fall to the spot where you want to be. I always go for the high ground in these open world games. Or even in platform games. Climb first, then fall. It's the fastest way to do anything that I can think of. That brings up a design question about how many, like, trampolines and boosters and stuff you should add to games like this to make climbing a bit faster. You know, vertical traversal instead of just regular old horizontal traversal. Yeah, what I need to fight's down there. Too bad I can't save the game. So I'll just bounce. Where's my map? Over here. Cycle icons with the. Oh, you can place pins. Okay, we don't need that just yet. So you can use the L. You can use left and right on the D-pad to place pins all over the map. So stuff like that. Breath of the Wild type stuff. Stuff they probably added later in the game's development because they figured it was a good idea. They might have started making this video when Breath of the Wild came out anyway. Or at least when it was in development, they probably said, okay. Like when they saw early footage of Breath of the Wild, they said, yeah, we can do that with the Dunia engine. We can take the Assassin's Creed engine and kind of make a Zelda-like game. We just have to like clean up some of the art, make it run well. We'll add some features to make it more friendlier for a cross-platform game that plays like Breath of the Wild. Of course, if you haven't heard, Breath of the Wild is considered to be the best video game ever made by IGN and probably a couple of other people. I mean, I reserve judgment, but it's probably fine. Well, one last fight. So yeah, a reasonable amount of content in this game. Got to be at least 2 hours in this demo. But you can't save, so I'm kind of loath to play it. I'm kind of loath to play much more of the demo because I can't save my progress. I might as well just play the final game. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the game runs that poorly. It probably looks bad, especially when it's not docked, but game seems fine. If you're gonna play it, you might as well play the regular home console versions. But yeah, this game is fine. So as I've said 7 or 8 times already in this video, yeah, this demo is available for free still as of 2022 anyway. Maybe it's been removed or delisted. But it's an Ubisoft open world game you can play on the Switch. And it's not, if you don't like the old Assassin's Creed games, this one might be better. At least if this is more your, like, this game is more my vibe compared to the Assassin's Creed games, which are just sort of cinematic corridor stealth action games. I mean, I might make decent rentals just for funsies. Yeah, I prefer games like this. This sort of combat's better. You know, the open world is more worth exploring. It's not just about traversal puzzles so much. Not so much about the stealth. The poorly designed stealth puzzles. I wasn't really a fan of that. I'm not really committed to being this guy. I just wanted to see how the game performs. It's just fine. Enter the encounter. Yeah, I'll think about it. Whatever. I meant to throw that. Gimme. 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 Excuse me. Ah. I should have dodged. Probably stun him at some point. Yeah, we're not doing too well with those regular. We gotta throw stuff at him to get him to really. Yeah, that blue meter is gonna make him. It's gonna stun him eventually. Okay, here's a hot take. This fight is objectively better than the Loki fight at the beginning of God of War because it doesn't last forever. So there is that. Missed. Careful. Give me that. Yeah. I'm still mad about that God of War game. I really wanted to like that. They just made the boss fights way too much of a thing. Like on the PS2 game, the problem was that the boss fights were like... They were locked behind some stupid puzzles. Like those stupid block-pushing puzzles that were all over God of War on the PS2. I do have the PS3 version of that. I do have the PS3 version of that. So I gotta get around to playing that at some point. Runs at 60 frames a second, if I'm not mistaken. So that's good. Okay, one more blue should do it. Yeah, one more blue should do it. Okay, 2 more blue should do it. That! He dodged. Isn't there another one of these rocks around here? Gimme. Got you, boy. Now he's stunned. And I gotta use my special attack at some point. Yeah, that's a typical strategy, you know it is. ZR. That didn't do too much. ZB. Can't need more stamina, so we got a problem. Lay out. I think he hit me. I'm in the ink. Whoop. Okay, I'm gonna die. Okay, we get the idea. This game's fine. So, buying it for $10 might be good. It's good. It's just too expensive for what it is.